and welcome to this week's episode 5 of Real Estate Advice with Victoria Mead. I'm your host, Victoria Mead, and I apologize in the background if you hear, yes, you will hear it. Sorry. For some reason, my screen's not showing me comments, so I went on my phone, but then I'm not going to be able to do that because I can't listen to myself talk back. So anyways, I'm going to hopefully be able to see comments here in a second. Either that, or actually, there we go. Cool. All right, so hello, Brianna. Thanks for joining me today. Hello, Allie. Hello, Chelsea, and thank you for having this be your favorite time of the week. That's the best thing ever. So on the 5th episode today, I am going to talk about what a seller appointment is like. So when I get calls from sellers, which is awesome, and they want me to come over to their house to tell them my opinion of price for market value, the very first step in the process is me just coming over. So it's a 2-step process. First step, me coming by, because I need to see the condition of the home, how it's being lived in. I need to see the location if I don't already know the location, and just pretty much get a tour of the house to know any updates you've done to it, things like that. So that appointment usually takes 15 to 20 minutes. The second appointment is more in depth. So in between the second appointment and the first appointment, I go back to my computer, I do all my research, and I put together a 20-plus page report on what your current market value of your house is. And so the way that I find that out is by comparing your house to other properties that are similar that have sold recently. And in this market, it's kind of tough because things are selling for way more than they're listed at. And so it's kind of hard when I go back to find houses and give you like the best opinion of price, because the ones that are pending may go for way more and I won't know what they close for until they close. So it's been kind of tough, but anyways, going off on a rant there. So the second step to the process is me coming back, meeting up with you again, and we'll go through that 20-plus page market analysis. I'll explain it all to you, how I came to the number, what I think my gut feeling is telling me for the perfect price, and then you decide what you'd like to do from there. I also have a presentation that I go through with every seller, and that's basically just explaining what the process of selling looks like, what you should expect for showing times, what you'd expect for pictures, all of that stuff. And then I'll go through what happens once we get an offer, what to expect for that, whole thing. I hope it's not boring. Most sellers find it useful. So I go through that. The second appointment is usually 45-ish minutes long. So first one, super fast. Second one, more in depth, but that's the information that you really want to know anyways. So any questions that you guys have? I don't see anything popping up yet. See. And I'll wait a little bit just in case any come up, because I know that this is a little bit more delayed than me talking right now. So let's see. That's a great question. So the question is, what fees should a seller expect to pay when they're selling their home? So it all depends on what the price of your home is, but basically you should expect the commission of the real estate agents. So when you're a seller, you pay for 2 agents instead of just the one like you do when you're a buyer. So you're paying for the agent that procures the buyer and then the agent that you hired to help you. So that's kind of the highest price that you'll see there. You also have to pay transfer tax to the state of New Hampshire, which is 0.75% of the purchase price. It's really 1.5%, but it's split equally between the buyer paying half and you paying half. Then you'll have to pay for deed prep, which is $200-ish. You'll have to pay for payoff for your current mortgage if you have one, any wiring fees, and then you'll have depending on what time of the year and how it's split up, you may end up owing the buyer back for taxes that they may be prepaying that you would have lived there for. And then just anything like water, sewer bills, if those are backed up, things like that. So selling is pretty easy. Buyers have a lot more fees to list, but selling is pretty much dependent on how much you're going to get for it. And then an agent can give you a whole breakdown. Once you know, say you have an offer on your house, you can have them ask for an estimate and get you a better number on that one. What is home equity? Home equity means basically what you can sell. So when you sell your house, say you owe $350 on it and you sell it for $400, you have $50,000 in equity because it's worth more than what you owe. If that made any sense. Hopefully it did. That's a good question. Thanks for asking. Any other questions? I see 8 people are watching. Thank you to all 8 of you for watching. I appreciate it. Let's see. I'll wait another couple minutes just in case any more pop up. All right, I don't see anything else coming, so in order to keep this short and sweet, if I miss you because you typed and it was too late and I didn't see it on my end, save your question for next week, 7 p.m. I will be back on Friday live. Oh, I get a question. Chelsea said, what's your best advice for a new agent / what was the best advice you got as a new agent? Ooh, that's a good question. What's the best advice for a new agent? Ooh, that's a hard one. Off the top of my head, the best advice is probably if you don't want to work every single day and basically be on call forever, don't be a real estate agent. Because you're basically 24/7 on call all the time. So that's my best advice. When you find an agent, is there a contract and when do you sign it? Great question. So when you find an agent, there is a contract. You'll sign it once you're ready to list, basically. So say you already have a set plan on when you're going to list, you'd sign a listing agreement. Or if you're ready to buy, you would sign the buyer's agency agreement once you know, okay, yep, I want to hire them and I want their feedback. Because when you're a buyer, it's more important to sign it right away because you don't have any representation. So they can't help you with figuring out their opinion of price, pull you comparables, pretty much. They can't really do anything for you until you hire them. So for a buyer, it's more important to do it right away once you know you want to hire them. And then a seller, you would do once you're ready to list the house. And then what happens when an inspector during an inspection finds something? That's an awesome question. You have so many good ones. So an inspector is basically a person that knows a little bit about a lot of stuff. So they'll tell the buyer a bunch of stuff. And if they have, you have over a 40-page report, there's going to be a lot of details in there. And you can't possibly ask the seller to fix everything. So when a home inspector finds something, he will explain to you what it is, how to fix it potentially, and you'll see it listed in your report. And then after that, you pretty much decide what's the biggest issue for you, if you're ready to continue with the contract, or if you need something fixed, or if you're just, there's too many things that the inspector found and you want out. But basically when an inspector finds something in an inspection, it just goes on a report and you decide what to do with it from there. What are top things to try and do before selling your home? I would say, what are top things to try and do before selling your home? So I would say probably get advice from a real estate agent to tell you what's the best, most cost-efficient things to do with your house. So, I wouldn't say go and spend 10 grand on new landscape if it really doesn't need to. I'm more of like the how to fix things in a less expensive type of way. That way you can get the most money, but not spend a ton of money. So, top things offhand to do before selling your house: paint things that need to be painted. Make sure that everything looks crisp and clean. Maybe even hire a professional cleaner if you need a real deep clean before selling your house. And then taking things that are personal, take those off the walls and replace them with, you know, modern, updated, nice things. Stage your home, that kind of thing. There's a few things you could do. That's the only things that can pop up at the beginning. Pop up in my mind right now, is what I meant to say. Do you have recommendations on who to use for a home inspection? Yes. So I always recommend Brian Burleson with Gate City Inspections. Hey, Brian, if you're watching. He's the one I used for my house when I bought. He's awesome, super thorough. He has all the cool gadgets. He checks the roof with a drone and takes pictures with his drone. It's pretty cool. One thing I really liked about Brian that I found another inspector didn't do was check the heat in the electric panel, because I thought that was super important. I'm like a huge phobia person about fire. I get super freaked out about that, so that was huge for me. So I always recommend him because I used him, and I find that he does a very thorough job from all other inspectors that I've met with. Right, Allie? He is a great inspector, isn't he? Do things around your neighborhood impact the price of a home? And if so, what are some examples? That's a great question. So I would say if maybe you live near like a dump site, maybe. But in this market, buyers are buying everything regardless of any issues, it seems anyways. So I'd say right now, there's really nothing that I can think of off the top of my head that would impact value besides maybe, I mean, I showed a house a couple weekends ago where the neighbor totally did not take care of their house at all, and they were pretty close. And one buyer didn't notice, because I showed the same house to two different people. One buyer did not notice, didn't seem to care. The second person was like, ew, I don't know if I want to live next to this person. So it kind of just really depends on the buyer, I'd say, too. Unless if it's something huge, like, you know, some people don't want to live near a farm, or, you know, like a landfill, things like that. But that's a great question. Anything else? All right. Okay, well, I don't see anything else coming. So I am going to say thank you again. And I will see you guys 7 p.m. next Friday. All right. Thanks for watching.